Welcome to the regular meeting of the City Council. I want to call on our original gangster, our former council member, Mayor, to lead us in Pledge of Allegiance, sir. Would you kindly do that, sir? Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Can we please remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders and the military members? Please be seated. And thank you, Mr. Wynn. Monica, may I have a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Ross.
Present.
Councilmember Upon.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Semra.
Present.
For the record, Councilmember Wallace and Mayor Moran are not in attendance.
Okay, at this time, Mr. Tran, would you please make our closed session announcements, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The City Council met in closed session to discuss item number 6 on this evening's closed session agenda. It commenced discussion of item number 7 and will reconvene into closed session after the open session portion of this agenda. No reportable action has been taken at this time.
Okay, changes to the agenda, staff? Council, any changes? Okay, if not, then we'll go on to the citizen comment. This section of the agenda allows the members of the public to address the City Council on any item not on the agenda. Members of the public and recognized by the mayor or the mayor pro tem should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes in accordance with the state open meeting laws. No action will be taken by City Council this evening. Anybody from the council chambers wish to make citizen comment at this time? Please come forward.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
My name is Russ Winton. I think I think most of you know me. I put some a lot of years in the Livingston city, and I'm here to talk about the large, lovely people that we moved away from Winton Parkway to a temporary stop. So my name is Russ Whitten. I'm currently addressed at Dallas Drive. I say currently at Dallas Drive because I've lived in 9 houses in this town, and I love the town dearly. Tonight I'm here on behalf of the Livingston Historical Museum. The discussion at our last meeting dealt with where will the immigrant family statues end up? We don't know. And we kicked that around, and I wanted to present our finding. The consensus was that they should be seen from the highway or on a busy exit off the highway, because we don't want them downtown, because we're proud of what we have, and we want everyone to know about it. Just as you go down Highway 99, you get to McFarland. What do you see when you go by the city of McFarland? You see their cross-country team cut out on the overpass. When you go to Salinas, you see everything geared toward their produce and food. And here we want to take the consideration of our diversity here. In fact, some of the people in the Historical Society said that the consensus was that we should see it from the highway or a busy exit. Comments say, you know, we know what we have here. It would be stupid to put it downtown. We know, we're proud of it. And what we have is a very precious thing. We want outsiders to see what makes our town so unique. Another board member on the Historical Society said, you know, we're a very diverse community and we're very proud of it. We want to share it with other people. So please keep this in mind. that we're all behind this. We just want the most visual, open assessment of these 5 lovely statues, and that's why I'm here today, just to keep that in mind. And I'll leave my notes here for you to leave in record. The second thing I want to talk about, I hope my 3 minutes.
That's 3 minutes, but go ahead, I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to thank you for putting me in July-7 by allowing me to put very, very nice music in the park. Our seventh annual this year, 7th annual. It should be 9, but we had to let COVID push us back. But I want you to know that here are the most important thing in this are the locals that donate to them. We had six sponsors this year. 5 Rivers came in, Via's Mexican Kitchen, Community Health, Community Services, A.V. Thomas, Winton Island, Strom and Green, Valley Sanitation. If you ever see those people, tell them thank you. They put up a big chunk of money to get this going, and if we keep it going, we're going to keep it going for next year. This year was great to have the food trucks there. Families came down, good times. If you've been there, I know some of you have been there before. It's just a great place to go on a Monday night, and I'm done right now. Thank you so much.
Mr. Witten, before you go, I was already thinking about, like you said, our statues. As you know, I'm on the MCAG board, and I was gonna bring this up, and I'll go through the council. I was gonna do that to see if we can work with Caltrans to put those up on each of our interchanges, Hammett and in Winton Parkway. Like everybody's got their welcome to whatever,
Yeah.
maybe in that area where everybody driving by can see who we are. Just a thought, or some other location.
Well, they were on a good location, Winton Parkway, because the only people that would see them if they missed the Gallo turnoff, they have to go down and circle back.
No, I'm talking about before you come up the ramp.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the bottom,
Yeah,
where the freeway, everybody's going through back and forth.
yeah.
Right there on the bottom.
Well, hopefully it'll get good
No,
vision
but
right there. Yeah.
I'll come and see the Historical Society and see if there's someday, and maybe council can give us some direction. I can't alone speak for anybody, but we'll see what we can do about that.
Well, our group of about 9 people that at the meeting were all on one. We want to show the people what Livingston has to offer and how we have such a diverse city, and we get along very well, and it's a plus, and people need to know that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Witten.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hand this out.
And because I gave Mr. Witten extra 30 seconds, anybody else that speaks can't have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So next person, please.
I'll try not to.
No, that's fine, but I want to be fair to everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Patricia Zamora.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. Wow, that was fast.
Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
No worries.
How
I
come
just wanted to
How
give
come it's doing this?
a brief update on the planning for the second Dia de los Muertos in Livingston celebration and altar walk. We have about 15 dedicated community members who've been meeting monthly at the library, and we are creating again a celebration that, again, as Mr. Witten said, that honors the diverse cultures and communities within Livingston. And even though this tradition is centered in the Mexican community, we have other communities now that are coming forward that want to go deeper and help share how they celebrate their ancestors. So we're very excited and been reaching out to many communities. We've been also talking to all the businesses, going door to door and asking them if they're interested to do an ofrenda again this year. And right now we're in the process of recruiting community partners, artists, culture keepers, sponsors, volunteers, and donors for this event. We did 5 workshops last year, and this year we're going to do 11 in the community free workshops in the community, and this doesn't include also the workshops that will be happening through Livingston High School with youth. And this year also, we are working with the high school to bring in youth as mentors, as culture keepers for the last 2 months before the festival starts, so that they get a chance to mentor and learn from artists, professionals in the field in terms of organizing this event. And just lastly, I would like to thank the city manager, of course, Jose, and Jackie from Park and Recs for the city of Livingston's continued support and just collaboration. We're going to be doing it this year at the Recplex, and that's going to be helpful because instead of having to take everything down in one evening, we'll actually be able to extend the event and bring in more artists, exhibitions, and in a way that allows the community to have more time to come and see. So thank you so much, and thank you to the council members. Moving forward, we'll have somebody from our committee, it won't always be me, who will be just giving a brief update how it's going, and if you have questions at some point along the way, or if there's anything in addition that you would want to know, please reach out and, yeah, just to keep folks in the loop, let them know what's going on. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else in the audience that wish to come forward at this time for citizen comment? Seeing no one? Is there
Mayor Pro
anybody on the
Tem,
phone?
I just want to, for the record, state that we received a email from a John Doe today, and it's been posted on the website if anybody wants to read the comment.
Okay, thank you. One last time, anybody else from the public at this time? If not, then we will close the citizen comment and go on to awards, presentations, and proclamations. At this time, we have a presentation by Anna, President of Livingston Serve. Anna, would you like to come forward and give your presentation, please? Do you have a presentation you want to hand?
Good evening, Council. First, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Our goal is to come and present to you guys our vision, who we are, and hopefully you guys will know a little bit more about our program. So, okay. So our club is a competitive club, you know, born and raised in Livingston. We are, give me one second, I want to follow through. We are rooted from Livingston, California, so wherever we compete, we're representing the city of Livingston. We compete in different leagues. One is like NorCal. We do send players to like ECNL level, which National One League and MLS Next and MLS Go. For those that don't know, it's basically the academy level, like the top level of youth, where we send players at. We do provide both boys and girls. Our program is like 99% boys, and we do have a couple girls playing with the boys, but girls that do have a little bit more potential or higher skills, we send them out to our Girls Academy, which is, again, Livingston Serve is an organization nationwide. There are over 60 clubs that are basically, we're like a satellite from the surf organization. So when we have a player that has a lot of potential, we send them to those places to have opportunities that unfortunately some players cannot have. From the first touch to college scholarships, we developed and complete athletes. So what do? We basically compete. Competing in the leagues is not necessarily, sometimes we focus on winning and we just want to win first place. For us, it's more like the competition is more of a training practice to get them where they want to be, which it goes into their player development and then gets them into opportunities for college recruitment. 100% of our members are volunteers. I appreciate every single one of our members for giving back to the community. They give their all, basically. They give their all. One of the most remarkable aspects of Livingston Surf that the entire coaching staff, like again, is made of volunteers. Every coach and trainer, manager gives energy. All of them have a full-time job, so they go above and beyond to help our community here in Livingston, even though we have some players that are not even from our city, which is about maybe 15%. We built skill development, character building, and community values, which is very important because right now we are forgetting the values. You know, we're forgetting, I think, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but we're forgetting where we come from, why are we here? It's sometimes we focus as coaches or other organizations focus on just winning and I'm better than you, and it's not about that. It's learning about teamwork, it's learning to be a better person, where you're getting from. We get real opportunities, real results. So what we're trying to say is we are not gonna tell a player when they sign up with us, hey, with us, you're gonna come and be a pro. With us, we basically tell them what we can offer you is the tools to get there. It's up to you to get there. We had a lot of players, for example, we had, which actually today, he's on a tryout for the top MLS Next, Alan. He is right now in San Jose. He was recruited by the top academy. We have Jasmine, who's also over there. And we have Adi, who played at the ECNRRL, which is an academy at only 8 years old. Josue, Leo, Fabian, and Ulises have been selected to Surf Select. Surf Select is when they send the players from the actual organization from Livingston, and they go and get evaluated. And if they see that they do have potential, then they go and compete national. So we are very proud to see that here from Livingston. We have our player, Brianna. She's the only girl in the boys team, and she has been recruited by so many organizations out of Livingston, representing the city of Livingston. If you guys follow us on social media, she's out there on every single time clubs want her, and we're very proud of her. She's also on the PDP, and this season, we have over 15 Livingston players nominated to the PDP, which is the Player Development Program, which is all free for the kids that have high talent. So they train once a month, and then they compete national, and then they go to state, and if they get nominated, they go, like this year, the 2011 boys and girls went to Japan at no cost to them. So it's a really good program. Every jersey, every tournament, we carry the name Livingston. You see our jersey, it says Livingston. It's not about, we are surf, but it's about where we're from. We want people to know, hey, there's a small town with 14,000 of population people, but we have talent in our town. So we proudly represent the city of Livingston, and when we were actually in the Telemundo News on a tournament about a month ago, and the kids were so excited saying they're from Livingston. So that to us is an honor to see that in our organization. What does this mean to the city? The Livingston name appears in every jersey, so regional and national tournaments. Players and families and coaches are ambassadors for our community. And then this provides high quality level to our players. It gives them ready to play high school level and play college recruitment. So what we want is 2 programs, 1 community. We want to have a mutual partnership between the recreation and competition. We want to be able to we know that the city focus on fun, participation, getting them the fundamentals of soccer. But Livingston Surf provides and focuses on the development and competition for players ready to pursue soccer at the higher level. Stage 1 is the city. Kids start at the city to see if they like that program. Then they go to us, which is our competitive, which gives them the higher skills. And then from Livingston Surf, they go into nominations that gives them the opportunity to perceive dreams or perceive them to have a scholarship. I do want to mention that one of our players that just got recruited by the top, which is Jasmine, the top ECNL girls, she was already told that they're trying to get her she's only 14, to get her into a UC Davis at this age representing Livingston. So we're really proud. The pathway of the program is we want 6 ways that the city of Livingston can build something lasting for our community. I think a formal partnership, this is something that we have been trying to do with the city through years, and this is why we're here today. We want to bring to the city council to say, hey, we want something formal to partner with you guys. Let's make something for our community. Let's work together. So the city obviously has their program. We want to say, hey, can you refer good players out there to us? You know, we share facilities, which we're very thankful with the city because you guys have been working with us, waiving our fees to have these kids play. But as you guys know, that is one of the biggest issues we have right now because the space is very limited, which we're hoping to, in the near future, expand maybe one more field because right now we have about 70 players. So it is a challenge for us. You know, collaborate with our community events, join together. Let's do some type of event together. Let's do, if we do tryouts, if we do a tournament, let's do it a mutual, not just Livingston Serve. People should not see as, oh, that's just an outside organization, or this is just a city. They should see, hey, they're working together for our youth. Coaching clinics. We have offered this before to the city, and we did it about 3 years ago when the city reached out to us that they needed coaches, is we all have offered to train their coaches, mentor their coaches for any support with their soccer program. Financial assistance, that is something that we want to continue working with. Those kids that are struggle, you know, look for sponsors, look for scholarships for the kids. And then city recognition. You know, we want our kids to feel proud that they're being recognized by their council, by their city members, not just us. We want them to feel like, hey, they feel proud that I'm over here. For example, like Brianna, West Virginia, you know, we're over here in Washington, Texas, representing our city, which is a big sacrifice to our parents because it is a travel. So it's time to act now. Livingston Surf is growing because surf is a brand. So it's like, you know, if you represent surf, everybody that knows soccer is like, oh, it's surf, because it's a really good brand, because they give a lot of opportunities to the kids within the organization itself, not only with them, but it's outside of the organization. So it's not like, I know there's other clubs, but Surf gives above and beyond, like Surf Select, Surf National. So, you know, they give other opportunities to the kids. So obviously, we want to see if the city council could look into partnering with us and, you know, have national recognition and work together to make our city recognize, not just, like they say, let the last stop be not being forgiven. Community partnerships. So this is our crime. I came to a meeting about how can we do things better for our community because our crime has increased and there's a lot of things that have been going drugs. And I actually coach for the high school, and I told a story where I was telling that there was a kid that came to me and he stopped going to soccer. And they told me he was done. He came to me and I asked him what's wrong. And I kept on, you know, kind of engaging with the kid. And he told me this. He said, my parents don't care about me. The only reason I'm in soccer is because it's what distracts me. Because the soccer program in the city, in the school is free. I told him, if you stop vaping, because he was vaping, I will support you 150% what you need. And he said, that's all I want from my parents. So a lot of this times we don't know the history on these kids. So we want to provide a path where that's not a problem, where we could partner with different organizations to make this possible for these kids. So, you know, having them active in something like this, which is sports, is gonna obviously get them, you know, a motivation to leave any type of drugs or gangs or any type of, you know, crimes that, you know, we're seeing now in our community. So one of the ways that, you know, we are offering this year, and this is something they offer, is any teen 12 years or older, they're able to referee. For one game, which is 25-minute halves, which is 50 minutes, they get paid $50. You know, if they do a full game, they're like 60, and that's not just me. I have to pay that person. any other club. So they could go to Atwater, Delhi, they get paid that amount. All they got to do is pay like $70 for their license, and they're able to get that amount of money. It depends the club you referee for. So this is another way to empower these teens to keep themselves active and going and get out of trouble. Obviously, expanding our educational pathways. Right now, we have a partnership with the academy that's going to help us work with a business who actually sits down with the players and gives them their career path. This is what you need. This is your GPA. This is what you need to get where you need to get. And this is something that we're looking for partnerships to be able to don't get those costs to those players and us provide that for the kids. Because at least I could tell you from my experience, this high school has a lot of kids that are graduating. And to go one by one, sometimes it's hard. And sometimes students are they're looking for is to go to a university where they're actually gonna be able to continue playing soccer. So to the city of Livingston, let's build a future together. You know, what are we asking? To be recognized, Livingston serve as a city official competitive youth program. We're asking to explore, share facility agreements, maximize our use of facilities, or even expanding our fields. To establish a formal player pathway from recreational to Livingston Surf, and then, you know, do community events together. That's what we're trying to work together with our city. This is just a little bit of what we have sent out in Richmond, Texas. You know, this is just some of the kids, not every, but these are a lot of the kids that have been selected and invited. And like I said, we feel proud. We feel very proud because these kids give 150 to feel for them when they're out there, they feel famous. They feel like Ronaldo, they feel like Messi, and it pushes them to continue doing better in education. And we want to thank you. One of the things that we also do before we finish is we also, our program also had last year a program called MLS Go. And it was our recreational program. And everything that was in that program, we were going to give it back to the community, to the kids that went to, the kids that participated. So one of the things that we were able to do is, I want to say that we want to thank the city of Livingston, you know, council members, Jackie for working with us with the facilities. I know you guys work a lot with maintenance and everything, but we said we were going to give 100% back. And one of the ways that we want to give 100% back is we want to give a donation to the city of Livingston, to the recreational department. I know they're looking, education is the key. You could be the top player out there, but if you don't have the education, it's very hard to get to a school. And that's one of the requirements that we do require when we go to our program. Like, you have to have good grades. So we want to give this donation, and I'm going to give it to the city manager because I know he's been very involved. We are very thankful. We want to give you a donation of $1,000 from our program to you. I know you guys have given more to us, but this is a little bit of us saying thank you for what you've done to our program. You're providing an opportunity for kids to continue playing. And to finish up on our behalf, like I said, we have our MLS Go. We have a little bit of surprise with our presentation. We had some wonderful kids that helped us run our MLS Go program. And I have my admin who's gonna explain a little bit more, but these are 3-year-olds. These are 16, 17, 18 years old that had to deal with 3-year-olds running up, doing little circles, and all the way to 9-year-olds. And they never gave up. They were there all the time. So I'm gonna have my admin, Hope, kind of explain a little bit and why, what we wanna do for them as a thank you for their time and dedication.
Hello all. My name is Hope Meza, and like Anna said, I am her administrator for Livingston Surf. The MLS Go program started, sponsored by Surf, and it's for 3-year-old to 9-year-olds, and it is to just get their touch on the ball. And to do this, we recruited high school students with the opportunity to gain scholarships for their activity, for their participation. We had very clear message of you have to have a 2.75 GPA or higher. You had to have 90% attendance being a coach. And definitely, you had to coach 3 seasons for MLS Go. Now, some of these coaches never dealt with kids before, so it was definitely entertaining for me to watch as the supervisor out there, but they did an amazing, amazing job. So what we've done is we have given them scholarships, just like promised, for each of them. Now, a couple of these kids, and I call them kids, some of them are adults now, but a couple of these kids definitely went above and beyond what they were called to do. And if I could get the guys up here, Jasmine, Frankie, Jesse, and Gio, come on up here real quick. I'm gonna get with Jasmine here first. She's stand right here. Jasmine, it was like the mama out there. She kept all of the other coaches in line. The only one she didn't get in line was Jesse, because for some reason Jesse was born an adult. It's just the way it is. When you got a mom like Anna, that's just the way it happens, you know? But Jasmine, she maintained a GPA of 3.2. Not just 3.2, we're talking about coaching as extensively as we did with the MLS, going to all the games, making sure all the kids were in line and pointing out the goals, you know, and she had the little ones. She had to be on field with these guys, holding their hand. Let's go this way, let's go that way. And she did an amazing, amazing job. So we want to award Jasmine with an MLS Go scholarship of, now, Jasmine's still a sophomore. No, junior, excuse me. She is a senior, now she's a senior. But when she was doing that, she was a junior in high school. So she's awarded the MLS Go scholarship of $350 for MLS Go. Okay. Now don't go nowhere, because Jasmine went above and beyond. The above and beyond is the fact that some of these coaches were able to take these kids and some other kids and go to another level. So we took them to Turlock Indoor, and they were coaching there at Turlock Indoor. They had some adult help there and here, but they were the coaches. They communicated with the kids. They were the ones who did all the work. So for that reason, it's here. Jasmine, you are awarded $500 from Livingston Surf for your above and beyond. Okay. So, she's shy, but she's not really shy. All right. Frankie just amazed me, because I don't think he dealt with a lot of kids out there. No, before he went there. But I do know that he was very kind to a lot of the kids. He had a couple of kids on his team that were just, you know what I'm saying? You want to call him Sriracha for a nickname. But you know what? I was very proud of Frankie seeing what he did. He got out there with the kids. He communicated with the kids. He was a little quiet, but he got out there. He broke through his shell, and we're very proud of Frankie. He maintained a GPA of 3.7 while coaching, while doing everything else. We're very proud of you. And Frankie, from MLS Go, we award you a scholarship of $500. Good job, bud. I appreciate you. Yes. Thank you, Frankie. All right, Gio. Now, Gio was another one who not only got out there with the kids. I know he and Jesse teamed up a lot, but the kids would run around circles. A couple of them would love to, you know, they'd always kick the ball between his legs and Meg and laugh and go, and he just took it with, you know, as a great coach. So it was a good thing. He also did come to Turlock Indoor and help us coach a few of those games over there. And we really, truly appreciate it, because keep in mind, we had several coaches, and these were the 4 that really stuck around and coached the entire 3 seasons. So, Gio, for MLS Go, you are awarded $500 scholarship. And then, you're so welcome, but stay here. Don't go nowhere, Gio. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. And for the surf, from Livingston Surf, we're going to award you another $100 for the games, for the indoor. Thank you, Joe. Yay! And now is your money. All right. Now, Jesse, Mr. Alberto. Jesse is going on to a 4-year university. He has not only stuck out 100% with the MLS Go, but he stuck out his own team in Turlock Indoor, then went past Turlock Indoor, and is now coaching full-time with Livingston Surf, while going to school, while working. This young man maintained a GPA, 3.5, and that's an amazing thing, especially in this society right now for our kids. Very, very proud of you guys, very proud of you guys. Jesse? Oh, yes, he is. Not only working, coaching, and everything else, but he's also going to college as well, so he hasn't stopped school yet. So MLS Go awards Jesse with $500 scholarship. Not just that, we give him the other, from Livingston Surf, $500 scholarship for your indoor teams. He's looking at my hands like, what else is in our hand? There's one thing that Jesse did that was above and beyond for everybody else, is the fact that he stepped up into a leadership role. Not only did he go into a leadership role for the kids, he went into a leadership role for the other young coaches. And that's something that he is still doing today. And for that reason, we give him another scholarship from Livingston Surf of $500 for his leadership abilities. And for me, lastly, this is a scholarship that I recommended 100 times over, because I believe that Jesse went well above and beyond everything he has been asked to do, and still, with everything on his plate, continues to follow through, to work with the kids, and has a wonderful heart doing it. I've never heard him yell at the kids. I've never heard him be disrespectful to the kids. He coaches, he's sincere about it, and we appreciate him. For above and beyond, $500. Don't go nowhere. We have one more thing given by our treasurer, Alejandra.
All right. What else can we add to his little resume? So to add to this wonderful child over here, not a child, but an adult already, an honor to present a surprise scholarship on behalf of Manuel Vieira and family to one youth who has demonstrated exceptional dedication through the academic achievements, leadership, and service. He graduated with a GPA of 3.5, completed over 45 college units while still in high school, and was accepted to 5 universities before committing into Fresno State to pursue a degree in agricultural business. At just 17, he balanced an incredible workload over the past year. He was full-time high school student, full-time college student, a competitive soccer player, worked alongside his family in the fields, and volunteered a full-time coach with Livingston Surf Soccer Club. His dedication, work ethic, and commitment to serving others make him truly deserving of this scholarship. He brought joy to the youth players who now love him through soccer. He's coach to my little daughter, so let me tell you, he's Coach Jesse. He is very, very well loved by the youth. Congratulations to Jesse. You have been awarded from A.V. Thomas and family a scholarship award of $2,000. On behalf of Livingston Surf, we want to thank you to Mr. Vieira and family for investing in the future of outstanding young leaders like him. Okay, all right.
So as you see, this is why we're looking for a partnership with our city, because we can make a difference. We can encourage these kids to volunteer, and depending, this year we have this amount, maybe next year we'll have less, maybe we'll have more. But when our businesses see that we are having a small program and we're using it back to our youth for their own education, I think is very important. I think this is why we want to make something more official, you know, with the city and the Livingston Surf. That being said, if the council doesn't mind, before we conclude, we could take a picture with our participants and you guys so we can have it on file.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Alejandro's turn. 1, 2, 3.
So again, this concludes our presentation. We want to thank the city council members for everything, and we hope that, you know, you guys will consider a possible partnership with our program, and hopefully we can make this not only for soccer, but for every sport, you know, if other organizations wants to go in, but basically for us to make this a difference in our youth and encouragement. So thank you again for everything.
You say anything? Yeah, does council wish to say anything?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. But first things first, just want to thank the group for coming out and presenting. I know this has been in the works for a couple months, and so I'm glad that you guys were able to make it out. Bring the students with you. Hats off to you guys, by the way. It's hard to get kids to sometimes do anything nowadays, let alone put in that much time to go coach and bring in and bring up the little ones. As it relates to like future partnership, doing events together, things of that sort. I appreciate that you guys had a plan, laid that out, and presented a proposal. Obviously, some of those items are much easier than others, and I'll just speak to like the events piece. For example, there's at least a couple of things that I know that folks have brought in and made it easier on the city when asking to host events. For example, Mr. Winton was here, Music in the Park, brought in the concept himself, has sponsors, they do some work behind the scenes, and they kind of take the burden off of the rec department and staff in that way. We have Ms. Zamora here, has a great group of volunteers working with her that put in a bunch of time for Dia de los Muertos, have partnered with the city to put that on, kind of take some of the burden off. Same thing with the 99 cycling rodeo, a cycling team with their bike rodeo, have a great group of volunteers. And the reason why I say that is I appreciate that you guys came in with your group and have offered to put that time in yourself. It just lowers the burden, I'm sure, on the staff side, and it makes it much easier to plug in with the city, as you've seen with at least a couple other people that are here tonight. And so I would definitely look forward to the potential of future events together. I know you guys have mentioned like potential tournaments, depending on what's going on in the soccer world at specific times of the year. I'm not super well versed in that, but I'll leave it up to you all on that piece. But I'm looking forward to that piece of this and want to continue to recognize especially the young ones when they go out and represent the town. If we have kids in Texas, Jersey, all types of places, I do think that's something that we can do a better job of, is just recognizing them when they put our city on the map, and would love to work with you guys on that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to thank all the young people that have been participating, putting out their own time. Congratulations on your scholarships. You guys deserve them wholeheartedly. I think it's a great thing, so keep it up. And I hope your program, I hope we can work with the city and get this going. I think that'd be a real advantage to the city and to the youth. So thank you very much.
You know, Anna, I've known you for a long time, and I admire you and everybody's commitment to our kids. They're not your kids, they're our kids too. All the kids belong to the community. And you kind of mentioned it, didn't get exact wording that you used, but it is well proven that kids that are involved in sports, recreation programs, they're not causing trouble. It's cheaper for the cities to provide recreational activities where we're not having to have that gentleman over there deal with them. It's a lot better. It's cheaper and everybody's happier. So it is true. Recreation, kids aren't throwing rocks, they're gonna be throwing balls, you know. Kids are gonna do something to stay busy. Let's keep busy in a right arena, right ways, you know. So I really appreciate it. And for the young ones, you know, at your age, I admire your commitment. Most of the kids, they wanna sit home, play on their little game consoles and do all that. For you to be out there bettering yourself and bettering others, that speaks a volume. That tells you where you're headed as far as your features. People that are committed like that tend to have really good features for themselves because they're well established, well set. They know what they're thinking for their future. That's just something that's ingrained in people that do stuff like that. So I think you guys are going to be very, very successful in whatever you guys do in the future. So thank you all. Thank you very much. And I don't see Supervisor Pacheco, so we'll move on to announcements and reports. Mr. Ramirez, you or anybody in staff have a...
Yeah, we do have Public Works will come up and give a little presentation.
Good evening, Council. Anthony Chavarria, Public Works. Council, I just wanted to advise you that our water department staff have been having issues with well 13 breaking suction. What does that mean, breaking suction? That means that the well does occasionally pump air into the water mains, and when that happens, water becomes milky, and we get milky water calls. But what that is entrapped air that gets pumped into the water mains. If you let that sit a little bit, that air does dissipate out and clears up, but it just looks real turbid, real dirty. So that is taking place right now. Public Works is working with engineering. We're gathering more data so we could better analyze, and we will bring a report back to Council, a staff report and a resolution on a recommendation to remedy as soon as we can. That's all.
Engineering, do you have anything to report? PD? Financials, anything? Okay, if not, then Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council, I have a couple of things that I would like to share. One, you know, I'm really happy that Mr. Winton came in today and talked a little bit about the larger than life. So we'll reach out as well to the Historical Service Society. Staff had kind of thrown some ideas around. His idea is actually, or the group's idea, we'll kind of research and look into not only Caltrans, but also to see who else, you know, because I know Foster Farms owns some property as well. And we'll look at that. Staff was looking at the possibility of putting the larger-than-life after they get refreshed and everything by the artist was to look at the Campbell corridor as an arts corridor, and we'll talk to Mr. Winton about that, and include them there. But yeah, but we'll work with them, and we'll find, I'm sure we'll be able to find a really nice home for these, and the effect that it's having and the intention of when they were first incorporated into the city, it's doing that and more, and so we're really happy, and thank you very much to Mr. Winton for coming this evening. The other item I wanted to share is that on June 24th, we started the bid process for the Rexplex. We had a pre-mandatory meeting on the 30th of June. We had lots of participation. There's been lots of questions and inquiries by a lot of the folks that were present on the mandatory pre-bid meeting. And we're hoping to have council basically accept the lowest, most responsible bidder sometime in August is what we're looking at. So that way they can start construction at the very beginning of September. So, and we anticipate the construction to take about a year. And so that puts us a few months before the actual deadline of when the facility needs to be open and ready for the public. And then the last item that I have is, we're very thankful and grateful that we were awarded the Land, Water, and Conservation Grant, which is part of the Rexplex complex. And so we're working on that, meeting some conditions that the feds have for us on that. And we actually are applying for other grants that we hope to be successful. And hopefully we can get we can get some of our state elected officials to help us out with the Caltrans and the railroad property that is adjacent to these facilities, because that would be a wonderful addition to that civic center, recreational. Besides, that property are really not being used and they're blighted, and we can put it to good use. And that concludes my comments. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Council, any questions for Mr. Ramirez? If not, then we'll move on to conflict of interest declaration. Members of the City Council will declare any actual or apparent conflict of interest before discussions or decisions about any matters on which they or anyone on what they believe have personal relationship could directly or indirectly benefit. So does anybody have any conflicts to declare at this time? No, seeing none, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar considered routine and non-controversial will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by the member of the public, the city manager, or the city council member. There will be no separate discussion on these items as a member of the public, city council, or city manager requests an specific item be removed. Public comes on consent agenda should be limited to 3 minutes per person regardless of the number of items contained within the agenda. Council, any items for discussion?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to pull items 4 and 8 for separate discussion, and I have some comments on item 2, although I'd like to leave it looped in with the consent agenda.
Okay, we're going to be pulling items number 4 and 8 for separate discussion. Council, on items 2, do you wish to make a comment at this time, or you just?
Yeah, please. I just wanted to
Go ahead, please.
make sure you're good to go. Council, a comment in related to some of the expenditures on the warrant register for this meeting. Back in May, first meeting of May, I had brought up how we had spent over $250,000, $268,899.94 to be exact, on engineering services that were approved during that meeting. In this meeting, in our warrant register, we have a total of $211,098.34 that we will be ratifying for engineering expenses. Now, this is something that I've brought up multiple times in the past, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page here as it relates to these expenses. I went back and calculated the expenditures for the first 6 months of this year, and we're currently sitting at $932,896.34. That's almost $1 million to our engineering firm in the first 6 months of 2026 alone. And if you consider how much money that is, we're on pace to pay over $1.86 million to our firm this year. Now, I bring this up because the last time we had this conversation, there was sentiment that there's either not enough work to do or we don't have enough money to potentially bring even one of these individuals in-house, which at this point, it looks like we're getting a ton of work done, which I'm very excited about, by the way. There's a lot of dirt moving and there's things that are planned, but we are vastly outpacing our expenditures in this area than we have in any of the previous years. And given that we have two members of the council here tonight who did not want to continue that discussion when we last had it, I would like to get your perspective on where this cost currently stands and where it's expected to hit by the end of the year.
Mr. Upo, if I may, before any of the other council members make any comments, I would like to say that one of the departments that is pretty much self-sufficient in the standpoint that, you know, the majority of the funds that are that pay engineering are reimbursable, and I thank you very much for the kudos with regards to, you know, work being done. One of the things that we pride ourselves is to make sure that the projects and that there's projects being done and that they're done, you know, at the appropriate and efficient time frame, even though we all know that government projects tend to take a lot longer than, you know, private projects, but we like to do the best we can to move them along. So there's some things that sometimes come along that, you know, puts us off a teensy bit, but overall, I just wanted to make sure that council's aware that the majority of the projects, if not, you know, all the projects are primarily are paid for by funding that we obtain through different means.
I know, Councilmember Ruppel, you asked other council members to comment. Well, we didn't pull the item, we just wanted to make a quick comment. So I don't think we can get into discussion unless we pull the item, and I'm not sure if I want to pull the item. So I don't think we can have a discussion without pulling the item anyway. So if you do have any other comments to make, Councilmember Ruppel?
I have no other comments, but I'll pull the item if that'll make it easier for comments.
Do you, okay, then, then I will call for a vote to pull items 2, 4, and 8. Does anybody wish to pull the item? You say you made a motion. Anybody want to second it?
So we're going to pull 2, 4, and 8 out
For discussion.
for discussion? I'll second it.
Okay, can I get a call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes,
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
thank you. Okay, now that we pulled the item for discussion, you were asking others to make a comment on item number 2 regarding your comment?
Would we have to vote on the rest of the consent agenda first?
Well, we can vote on the rest of the consent agenda, or we can discuss this and pull the items, and then, it doesn't matter when we vote for the consent. Do you wish to vote on the consent at this time? Okay, then let's do that, okay? At this time, consent, we're pulling 2, 4, and 8. So at this time, item number 3, approval of the minutes, the meeting held on January 16, 26. Item number 5, consideration of adopting the resolution accepting the completion of the Max Foster Multi-Use Path Phase 1. And number 6, consideration for the adoption of the resolution accepting the completion of Max Foster Multi-Use Path Phase 2. And number 7, consideration of adopting the resolution for ratifying the contract change order for Conoco West. Does anybody wish to, no, before we go for a vote, does anybody in the public wish to make a comment on the consent items? Anybody online that wishes to make a comment? If not, then I will entertain a motion for the consent items minus 2, 4, and 8. Does anybody wish to make a motion?
All motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, may I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Upal,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Semra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
All right, we'll go on to item 2 for discussion. Do you wish to add anything to your comments, Councilmember Upal, at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay, I will do that. I know what you said, and we heard about it. To me, and like you mentioned, things are humming, dirt's moving. Yeah, that's why we have when work like that happens, all of your costs go higher. What money we spend on public projects, other things, it comes in. Private projects come in. Of course, each one of them require services of planning, because they also get part of the money. They require legal money to be spent. It does. When there's activity, you're going to get larger. However, the reason I have not been, as you suggested, is just as well as things are humming, things can also slow down quite dramatically as well. And when you're under these kind of contracts, there is no need for adjustments to staff levels. There's an automatic adjustment. Projects aren't coming in, they're not being assigned to legal, engineering, or anybody else. Cost comes down automatically. There's nothing to think about it. We have done what you had said in there, try to hire in-house staffs. When the economy took, people were sitting around with hardly anything to do, but there were no projects coming in, there was no money coming in, but we're still paying for them. So, yes, the costs can go up, but they can also go up when the economy slows down or dirt's not moving. And if you have staff like that, then there is no automatic reduction in expenses. You still have to pay those, and that's the reason I've been hesitant over the years in doing that. Mr. Roth, do you wish to add any comment?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My only comment is, yeah, cost does go up, and that was my main concern, okay? But bringing in someone else, I mean, who knows how more expensive that's going to be for the city as well. We see things are moving, and I think that's a great thing for our city. But yeah, my thing is, it's just like with everything in the world right now. Everything's up, and it doesn't matter who we bring in, things are up. I mean, look at the price of groceries. They're up. So, we're kind of in a pickle right now. I work in the automotive world. Everything's up, So I think we need to just take it in stride for a bit and see what happens. Things could come down. Again, they could go up, but we don't know. I mean, we don't know what the future holds. So that's my speech.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, I do think that the concern over dips in work that's going on is fair, especially since we've been in places in the past where we've had nothing going on, let alone few things going on. I just want to remind you both and the public and hopefully the rest of the council that's not here that will listen to this, we are gearing up for growth. We are actively addressing holes from the past. We're improving our infrastructure. We're gearing up to improve it at a dramatic level. We are updating our general plan. We are setting up foundational pieces of infrastructure, not just physically, but like intangibly, master tax sharing agreement, things of that sort that are gonna allow us to be in a position where growth is gonna come more fruitfully and probably at a more rapid rate than we've had in the past. We have a ton of more residents coming in. We have housing developers ready to go as soon as we have things on our side ready to go. I see a lot of positive happening for Livingston as soon as we kind of clean up those glaring holes that have been here for so long, and that will likely result in us having a ton of work to do. Now, if the bubble pops and we get an economic hit, that's gonna suck for a little bit, and we need to be mindful of that. I wanna remind you, at least at a cost level, we've broken down costs for, even if it's just one position, there's no expectation that we get a full department at any point here. there would be savings at a direct salary to salary level. Work can be dependent on economic conditions, but we have a ton of work going on right now. We're expected to have a ton of work as we improve these things down the road, and I want you to keep that in mind over the next 6 months, maybe even next 12 to 18 months.
Mayor Pro Tem. Another expense, just to not go off subject, but another expense is, and Mark, this is no offense, our attorney's fees. I mean, that's something else we need to look at. They're up there. So, I mean, we're looking to cut and we're looking to save money. I think we need to look in all the right places and everywhere. So, thank you.
Okay, obviously, we're not gonna make that decision, so do you have anything else, or do you,
No other comments.
okay, do you want to go ahead and, because you requested item number 4 to be pulled?
Do we need to vote on this item before we move to item
We can
4?
vote on it, or we can discussion, okay, well, then, does anybody wish to make a motion to ratify the warrants?
Well, we need to go for public comment on this item.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Not that, I did call on it for public comment. Oh, no, I did for the other one. So, does anybody wish to make a motion on, public comment on ratifying the warrants? Item number 1 from the public. Does anybody? Anybody on the phone? If not, the public portion is closed. Council, any further discussion or a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Upel. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth.
Yes.
Councilmember Paul.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Semmer.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
Okay, Councilmember Upel, you pulled item number 4, so go ahead, please.
Yeah, I did. First things first, would like to thank staff. I read in the report that we had a committee that was established to rank these firms, which there were 9 of, so that was a ton of reading to do. So thanks for compiling that for us. Council, I'll be honest, when I saw that there were a couple options that were substantially cheaper than Mid-Valley, I was encouraged by the potential of big cost savings. I don't like the fact that they're based so far away from Livingston, though, compared to Mid-Valley, which is based in Merced. And Mid-Valley is not only cheaper than any of those other options that might be a little bit closer to home, but we've been with them for several years now, and I imagine that shifting away for minimal savings could end up being a bigger headache down the line than not. So I would recommend that we approve for Mid-Valley IT. One of my reasons for pulling the item, the way that the contract is currently structured, it'll be a 3-year term plus an option for 2 additional separate 1-year terms. Right now, those would be executed at the administrative level if that was the will of the city. Similar to the way that we structured our contract with JB Anderson when their contract came up, I would request that council consider those 1-year extensions be brought back for council decision at the time when this 3-year term is up, just in case anything changes between now and then that we want to reconsider. So that would be my only proposed amendment. Otherwise, I am fully on board with approving our deal with Mid-Valley IT.
Mr. Roth, do you have any comment?
No, not at this time, thank you.
Okay, to me, I understand your reasonings for wanting to come back for extension and so forth, but this also gives staff a little bit of a leeway if they're working on some deep projects to continue. IT is rather unique, that if we approve the 3-year contract, which is fine, I think we all agree on that portion of it, but I'm not sure why, why would it be an objection if we're already approving in 3? What's the additional reason for not having 2 more years? I'm not sure what the reason is. It's the same group right out of Merced. So, and like you mentioned, they're close by. And I don't know Mid-Valley personally. I mean, I know who they are. I worked with them because of my before 5 o'clock job. I do deal with them on other districts and stuff. So they are very reputable. And also, the way IT works is sometimes you're in the middle of equipment upgrades and, you know, computers have to be rotated every so often. There's vulnerabilities, servers have to be updated. There's all kinds of things that happen. And I think this gives staff a little bit of a stability in saying, you know what, we're in the middle of something, and that we should just go ahead and continue. Because either way, I don't see Mid-Valley being downhill because they are actually a pretty good outfit.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a comment. We work with them at my job, and, you know, every time we have an issue, they're right there. I mean, they're on the spot. They stop in at least 2 times a week. But like I said, the issues, they're right there. Even when I had issues with one of the city equipment here, they came down to the dealership and helped. So, I mean, I like them and I respect them.
Does anybody know from staff how long is Mid-Valley? I said MID, I'm thinking, sorry about that. How long have they been with the city? Approximately? No, they've been here more than 2 years. Yeah, they have. I don't remember the exact date, but you know, they're very reputable. They kept things, and I don't usually comment in here, but I do keep updated on how our technology infrastructure and everything is set up and works. Just not getting involved and just say, are we doing multi-factor authentication? Are we doing this? They are keeping up with the latest standards. So they are quite progressive in keeping the city up to speed on technology and making sure all the vulnerability, everything is being addressed at the proper levels. So I don't know what the point of it is. You know, if the staff thinks in 2 years they're not doing a good job, they're not going to go there anyway. They're going to come to us and say, we need to get somebody else. So this gives them a little freedom, and I don't know what's the point of changing at this point. So thank you. Guys, okay? Any other comments, Mr. Rucco?
Yeah, I would like to respond to that point. I think it puts a little bit more of an onus on the firm to know that they have, this is essentially a public performance evaluation for them, right? When they're competing with other firms for our services, it's nice to see what's out there. We only know who is bidding for these services because we went out and asked for proposals. If we don't do that, we don't know if we have someone that might be, say, substantially cheaper and offer the same level of service. So by doing that, we open up the opportunity to force these guys to compete on the market. I'd agree, I've had great experiences with them. Every time I've had issues, they've done a great job. It's one of the reasons why I'm very comfortable moving forward with them tonight, and it sounds like our staff seems served well by the firm as well. I just think we open up our options because we never know who's going to pop up in this space. There might be a new firm next year that is able to outcompete them at a lower rate and potentially offer the same, if not greater, level of services. And we won't know that in 3 years' time unless they're lobbying us hard on the side or unless we go out for proposals and we see what's on the market. So I always like to have the contractors compete. Respect to them for doing the work that they do, but it's their job to compete in the market, and I want to make sure that we have our options open when the time comes.
And I surely understand your point that you're trying to make, Councilman Ruppel, but being in the field, I also understand that a $50,000 less somewhere, when you get a new group to come in, just to changes the upgrades, all the changes they're going to make, it's going to cost the city more sometimes, you know, and you and I'm sorry, I don't want to use it individually, but when we call IT, it's because our password doesn't work, or email didn't work properly. We're at a very minimal level that we have direct contact with IT. It is staff who's going to deal with day-to-day servers, equipment, switches, whatever it happens to be, they're going to do it. And if they can't get their job done, they're not going to wait for 3 years. I don't think they will. Nobody will. You wouldn't, you know. And so I just think that I understand in 3 years, it's not that easy to switch IT sometimes either. They're very difficult jobs, and just trying to get everything transferred over, it's really difficult. So I think we should just, in my view, we should just leave it and go back in 3 years. The council, we can say, maybe we can have them point out, say, hey, contract is coming up or whatever, but we're aware of it. We can always call and say where we're at on this. So it can be called. It doesn't mean, we can always call it, but to change that in the contract, I don't know about that, because then I think it also it makes mayor or whoever it is, and saying, we have these 3 years. Do we really want to go through the bid process, or should we just go above and beyond 1,050%, so we don't have to do it right now? We can go ahead and say, look how great we've been. We can do that. So that may be a reward for doing a great job too.
I hear your point. I'll maintain my stance on it. I'll motion that we make that amendment. The motion fails, the motion fails. But I will motion that we amend the contract language to have the 2 additional 1-year terms come back for approval by council.
I have a motion by Councilman Rupo. Do I have a second? There is no second, so it dies. For the second, then I will make the motion that we adopt a resolution approving the award agreement for IT managed services to Mid-Valley Services and authorize city manager to sign the professional service agreement contract. I have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Councilor Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sammer.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
Thank you. All righty, now going on to item number 8. This is a consideration for adopting a resolution adopting 2627 strategic plan as it is identified by priorities. Councilman Rupo, I know you pulled this item.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I have a couple.
Hold on. I'm getting the mayor thing with you. On the other item, we didn't go for a public comment. So, sorry, folks, but does anybody wish to make a public comment about? Go ahead, please. I can see why the mayor doesn't come for it either.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Council. My name is Parwinder Upal. I'm not sure how much of a back and forth we're allowed to have, but I just wanted to make sure I understood. This is my first time hearing about this particular item, so I just want to make sure, as part of the public, I understand what you guys are discussing. Is the item in consideration that the contract will be approved for 5 years versus approving it for 3 years and having the last year 4 and 5 come up for consideration when the years come by?
It's for 3 years with a 2 one-year extensions at the staff's discretion.
Right. So, just so I understand correctly, the motion that you guys were approving just now was for 3 years with 2 years at discretion when
Of
the
the
time
staff,
comes?
yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's all. I just wanted to
All right.
understand. Thanks.
Thank you, and sorry about that, okay? Yeah, because we did not get the public comment in the record, is anybody online that wish to make a comment? Hearing no one, it is now closed to the public. I will recall for the vote. Does anybody wish to? I will remake the motion. That we adopt a resolution approving the award, the agreement for IT service, med services to Mid-Valley Services and authorize city manager to sign the professional service agreement. I have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
A second by Councilmember Roth. May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sammer.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I won't be so hard on the mayor next time. So, okay, this is item number 8. This is a consideration of adopting the resolution, adopting the 2026-2027 strategic plan as is identified priorities. Councilmember Opal.
Yes. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I have a couple comments on this item, but before that, just curious to know if you guys had any questions, comments, or if you were ready to approve as it was written.
Well, I didn't have any comments. I kind of sat down over time with the city manager, and discussing things. So I don't really have a whole lot of comments, but I just wanted to, you obviously pulled it. Maybe you're looking for something, or
Sure.
you have a point to make.
Couple points. At the, don't quote me on the date, I believe at the May 19th City Council meeting, that night, council had voted on, we had discussed a strategic plan and we had voted on strategic priorities. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I don't know if you were in attendance that night, but Mr. Roth, I do know that you were.
No, that was the meeting that, remember I had that severe cough, I couldn't even make the meetings.
Yeah.
But I did watch the meetings online, and that's the reason the next couple of days I sat down with the city manager between coughs.
Sure, yeah.
The questions answered, okay.
That night, we had approved the 5 strategic priorities for this plan, which were public safety, critical infrastructure, parks and rec, economic development, and community engagement and transparency. Sorry. Council, I wanted to flag that those are not the priorities that are reflected on our current draft strategic plan. So I would request that we direct staff to mirror the priorities that were voted on when we last had that discussion with the areas of strategic focus that are currently on our draft strategic plan. Something that I've mentioned in discussion, and which council we can discuss a little bit deeper if you'd like right now. During this process, I kind of looked at strategic plans from other cities, counties, just other organizations as well. One that I really liked was actually Merced County's strategic plan, and the reason for that, I did share this with staff, by the way, but I'll share it with you at the dais. The reason for that is if you open up Merced County strategic plan, and you can go do this on your own tonight, tomorrow, I can send you the link as well. They have kind of the same format that we're using, strategic priorities, objectives, but within their objectives, they have in pretty clear detail who within the county is assigned to carry that objective out, as well as when they actually plan completion of that task. So if you had no idea what the county was working on, you can open up their strategic plan and say, hey, all 20 of these departments are expected to do this by this time. Now, things can always change, right? Stuff happens, especially as issues pop up. But I do think it would be great for us to mirror that style, just so that everybody's on the exact same page about when we're expecting things to get done, and who within the city, whether that's specific departments or even if we're expecting to contract some of this stuff out to get done. It's a standard of accountability for us, and as we move throughout the year, whether we're evaluating on a quarterly or even like a biannual basis, because it's only a one-year plan, we can measure our progress with that table, so that when we set up for a multi-year strategic plan, we have a pretty clear idea of what our capacity is to handle these types of projects, initiatives, et cetera. And so I would request that we send this back to staff and have not just the strategic priorities mirrored with what we voted on, but kind of set up that same format that the county uses. I think it's a great look. Maybe take a look on it tonight before a formal vote. We can always bring this back at a later date. But I would like to have that reflected before adopting this plan.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, Councilman Rubel, thank you for the comments. We can certainly incorporate something in this document that highlights the specifically, or raises or highlights the 5 areas. The way staff was looking at this is these are the buckets, which are the areas of strategic focus that were adopted and were communicated through the different workshops and meetings that we had. And so the areas of focus are just that, the areas of focus, but the priorities will be in the order that council actually adopted. So it doesn't necessarily need to be identified, the strategic areas of focus based on the priority, because the priority is going to be the priority regardless of the buckets. I don't know if you understand. So if you look at your document and you look at the areas of strategic focus, these are the buckets that all of the the areas of importance or priorities are listed, but staff in the community will know that council will, in terms of hierarchical order, that we are to look at public safety first, you know, critical infrastructure second, recreation third, et cetera, et cetera. But we can certainly, somewhere in the document at the beginning, can incorporate some type of verbiage that says, you know, the council at X, you know, council prioritize in this area, and so the items that are listed here will be prioritized in this fashion. I don't know if you get my drift. Rather than having to redo the entire document, staff thinks that would be suffice and address this. And then moving forward into the future, if this is only going to be a one-year document, we can certainly look at other formats and other methods.
Thank you. I will say that the intention of voting on priorities as a group after conducting the visioning sessions, feedback sessions, et cetera, was that what we voted on would be the areas of strategic focus. It would be those buckets that are currently listed under the areas of strategic focus. Otherwise, I think we're going to have some unnecessary overlap. It's what was voted on versus what was pulled from source documents. Even what we voted on that night is informed by what we heard through the visioning sessions and what we hear just out and about. So that was the intention of the vote. It is what council voted on, and I would like to see that reflected as the areas of strategic focus themselves. At least that was my understanding from our discussions, as well as what was sent via email, that those would be the 5 strategic priorities, the 5 big buckets. And right now, they're actually not, I don't know if they're reflected
If you look at, let's just take
within the document explicitly.
yeah. So let's just take community identity and quality of life. So the community, there was all kinds of items that were talked about, and the ones that they prioritized floated to the top, okay? And so this is how these are how it's listed. So for instance, one of the key priorities under community identity and quality of life is complete the recreation complex, the Rexplex. Okay, so of course, as council communicated in hierarchical sense, recreation was third in place. Okay, however, within the community, under community identity and quality of life, recreation complex was their top priority. Okay, so what I'm saying is that staff are balancing the needs, the hierarchical needs that the council communicated, and also what the community is being have communicated based on the different buckets. So, but the key thing, the most important thing, is that all of these items get completed. Okay, one way or another. That's the goal of staff. And so there's going to be a lot of nuances associated with this, because it's going to be, resources, staff capacity, time frames. And so we're going to be juggling, but for staff, we know that these are all priorities, and that we need to get them done as best as we can.
Thank you. I would agree that a lot of these objectives are, well, I mean, Council, you can comment on the specific objectives themselves on what you think of it. At least from my perspective, a lot of them are things that folks are going to be excited about, things that we talked about directly. So I don't expect those to change much, but I'll reiterate the purpose of a vote on this for us as a group, so that we would have a formally adopted areas of focus. Those were informed by community opinion. I mean, hopefully everything we do is, but it's the reason why we brought folks in. And so for those priorities that we voted on to not be the areas of strategic focus within this plan, it just renders that whole process meaningless. And the expectation from my side, Council, you can comment on this as you'd like, would be that what we voted on is what's reflected as the areas of strategic focus in the document. That's why we voted on those priorities. I don't think that our objectives would change dramatically. And Council, you can comment on that piece of it or also the objectives piece of it as you please, but we voted on this for a reason. After getting community feedback, the priorities that I put out and commented on, and I hope same cases for you, is based on what I heard from folks out in the community, and I do think those should be reflected as our 5 areas of focus.
So, Mr. Upal, just if you can, we certainly need a little bit more information here because now I'm a little confused. So let's break the document down a little bit further. The most important aspects of the document is encompassing all of the information that was garnered from the different meetings and workshops and stuff. So those, just for your information and the rest of the council and the public, there was 6 areas of strategic focus where all these items were incorporated. And then within all of those items, after there was a synthesis of all the things, and then those things that rose to the top that were communicated by the community and the staff and council, they were added under these specific areas. So like, for instance, community identity and quality of life, if you look at the key priorities, they're all listed there. If you go to fiscal responsibility and governments, all the key priorities are listed in there. Again, there's a lot more stuff that was talked about in the workshops, but those didn't, get elevated to the top. But they're not being ignored. We still have them as staff, for future. Housing and neighborhood stability, same thing. Now, what we heard from council, as you brought up at that one meeting, was, okay, what we as a council, based on all of the information that you guys received, we as council want to prioritize public safety as number 1, critical infrastructure as number 2, parks and recreation as number 3, and so forth and so on. And so as staff, we're looking at all these different buckets, and anything that relates to public safety, we want to focus on those and give those priority. So public safety, we can look at, okay, let's go to fiscal responsibility, because each one of these buckets can have something that's related to public safety. Like, for instance, community notification systems, that's under fiscal responsibility and governance. Okay, so that's public safety, and it just happens to be at the top. Look at create a safe bike and walking path network. That's another area. So a lot of these things that are in these different buckets, we're going to use these priority areas that council adopted to put them in this hierarchical order, is the way we as staff are looking at it.
And Mr. Upal, just so you know, and maybe, like I said, when you're watching the meeting, it's not the same as being there in person, and I heard the conversations, and the way I saw it, and I don't know, maybe I didn't see it the right way, we set certain priorities, and within those priorities, there are certain projects, So, and to me, I kind of remember, the priorities, the categories, I remember those being there. Now, are you having issues with the categories or items within the particular categories?
The ask is to have, so if you look at page 154 of your staff report, these are the areas of strategic focus. As you mentioned, we have strategic priorities, and then we have projects that fall within them. The ask from my side, which was stated at the dais that night, is that the areas of strategic focus in the strategic plan be what we voted on based off of the community feedback that we received. So that would be those 5 buckets. I don't think it makes sense for us to vote on 5 priorities and say, this is what we are going to consider our 5 focus areas and break down objectives within them and then approve a plan that doesn't have those explicit items that we voted on and ratified that night not be the areas of strategic focus. So to answer your question, Mr. Mayor Pro Temp, I agree in the terms of the format. I envision the same thing as you, strategic priorities, projects that fall within. And I actually, I'll say it again, I'll reiterate, many of these objectives are directly what we received from those visioning sessions. If you look at key priorities that are listed under these different buckets, if not things that we discussed on the council, whether that was the city's website, whether that was the lighting audit, there's stuff like that that's included. I don't think it makes sense for us to have voted on areas of strategic focus and not have those reflected within this document. So the ask would be to make the strategic focus bucket items, the overarching ones, what we voted on that night based off the community feedback we received over the last year or so.
So do you want to get back with the staff, and what do you want to? Because I mean, obviously, there's no point in voting for this because it's not what you think or everybody thinks, So do you want to send it back to the staff to redo this portion of it, or what do you?
That would be my ask for you guys, is to direct staff to have our areas of strategic focus, our big bucket areas reflect the 5 priorities, the 5 bucket areas that we voted on. I don't expect these objectives to change much. They would just be reoriented to fit those specific priorities. So that would be the ask, is to direct staff to reflect the vote from that night.
Yeah, what I usually have is when these go to, when you guys met with the community on these items, I wasn't there because again, I was still trying to recover. So that I was not able to watch. So I didn't know what the feedback was from there, but which is fine. But maybe I didn't quite see it the way you're seeing it, but I agree. We should go ahead and send it back. If you like, please get with.
Let me ask Mr. Upo if he can give staff an example of just one example of what it is. That way we can kind of get a little head start. And if we have further questions, we can certainly reach out to Mr. Upo.
Sure.
But one example, please.
Very specifically, page 154 of our staff report. Let me see exactly what page of the strategic, that would be page 13 out of 20 of the strategic plan. Those areas of strategic focus, I would ask that these 6 items be amended to be the 5 items that we voted on. I can't remember exactly what date that was, maybe May 19th, in the order that we.
Which is in the staff report on page 1 of 2, 138. That says public safety, critical infrastructure, parks and recreation, economic development, community development, transparency.
Yes.
Okay.
Give me 1 second real quick. I do want to, quick note on that staff report piece, and this may be a discrepancy from the minutes that we amended in the last meeting. In the discussion section, the priorities are listed slightly different than they were or what we actually voted on. The community development, that should be community engagement, and the transparency item is looped within that. And that is actually reflected within the resolution. So those 5 priority areas are listed within the resolution. I just want to make sure that we don't get confused when we go back and look at the staff report.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. Do you wish to meet with staff then to?
Yeah, we can definitely game this out over the next couple weeks.
Mr. Upal, I will make myself available if you so wish. I'll be more than happy to get with you, get with staff to make sure that we address it. I'd be more than happy to work with this with, if you wish, of course, to go with me with staff and whoever you need to make sure that we're aligning with the way you think it should have been and, you know, and the way we do it, because obviously I missed one portion of it. That way I will have a better idea of it as well if you wish. I'd be more than happy to go with you.
Appreciate the offer.
Okay? At this point, I don't think it's a point of even calling for motion. So I think I'd like to, do we need a motion to table? Yeah, Councilmember Opal, do you wish to table this to a particular date, or how do you wish to proceed?
I will motion to table this item to a future
Do you have
date
a
to be
particular
determined.
date?
We'll just say TBD for now.
I'm sorry?
We'll just say to be determined.
To be determined?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion to table the item to be determined. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second. Ooh. This is so embarrassing, my gosh. You know, when he comes back next week or the week after, I'm not gonna pick on him. I will shut up and just mind my own business and then just speak when I'm allowed to. So this item's now open to the public. Anybody in the public wish to come forward? Anybody on the phone? If not, this item is now closed to public. I still have a motion to table this to be determined by Councilmember Lupo. I have a second by Councilmember Roth. Did you second that?
I did.
Yeah, may I have a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Roth?
Yes.
Councilmember Upal?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Semmer?
Yes,
Motion passes by a vote of 3-0.
thank you. And going on to City Council Member announcements and reports, Mr. Upal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Temp. First things first, I would like to thank our city staff. I know this event needs help from just about everybody for putting on our 4th of July event, from PD to rec to public works, admin level. There's stuff going on behind the scenes, on the ground. Always nice to have that venue for the residents. There's always mixed feedback on whether or not there should be the carnival or if people are more happy with the one-day event, but I think ultimately it's just exciting to see everybody out there. And, you know, just driving by, you see the explorers, like guiding cars when it's dark, volunteering their time when they could be just posted up and hanging out with their family. That's always really cool to see from the youth. So, Chief, definitely give those folks a shout out for that. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I have one other item, and I apologize. I'm gonna have to look at my phone for this real quick. I just pulled it up. A lot of our high school summer sports are in session. They practice pretty quickly after the school year ends. And I do want to flag for the community that that includes our football squad, our freshman football squad as well. They're practicing Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. At the high school, kind of parking closer to the old gym cafeteria area. The students would need an account on home campus and an updated sports physical. I know they're off for the 4th of July week right now, but those activities will pick back up. And I'm happy to connect any members of the community that want to either get in touch with their head coach, our varsity head coach, et cetera. Numbers have been pretty low. It kind of just tends to be the case for the 8th graders transitioning in for the first part of the summer for whatever reason. The squad asked me to give them kind of a heads up, and so definitely doing that for them. And Mr. Mayor Pro Temp, if it's okay, sorry, had a couple birthdays this past week for the little ones, so I'd like to give them a quick shout out. Happy birthday to baby Avleen. Her birthday was on July 1st. And also to Avani Dillon, who had her birthday just yesterday. So shout out to the little ones. Thank you.
Councilmember Roth?
Nothing to report personally, but I want to thank everyone. I was talking to a few community members, and they said that the 4th of July celebration was great. In respect to what Councilmember Upal said, a lot of them were disappointed we didn't have a 3-day, so I think we need to bring this back to a future meeting here soon to get a jump on it now rather than later. So we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, it's, as we mentioned, as of July 1st, Livingston is the chair of the MCAG, so we'll be able to work towards now. So it'll be good for the community to move forward. For us, it's a council. So I'll be chairing my first meeting next Thursday. So, and that's why I was saying to Mr. Winton when he was here, let us know. I'll be more than happy to, after we had our internal discussions, to, if we want to put larger than life on Caltrans property somewhere, it would be nice if that's what we want to do. I can go ahead and help to move that forward, again with Caltrans. And second, I do want to thank, as we do it every year, the PD, our explorers, Public Works, Recreation. They were out there on the 4th. Our interim chief had the, I don't know if you want to say the pleasure or displeasure meeting with my granddaughter. She let him know her name clearly. And she managed to, she had fun, we had fun, everybody had fun, and again, I want to thank Recreation for, and everybody in the city doing a great job. And I want to thank Public Works. I think it was yesterday that I called regarding a citizen complaint. They called me, I called the city manager to relay to Public Works. An hour later, I got a call says the pothole's fixed. I questioned that was it really broken? But they said, no, it was broken, they fixed it. So I tell you, we can't get pizza delivered that fast. So I wanted to thank everybody for all the great job you guys do. It's easy for us to take the limelight and saying we're getting it done. We're not getting it done. We're just picking up a phone and calling somebody. You guys do all that work, so really, really appreciate that. Now, any direction for future agenda items?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to put on there 4th of July, possibly in September, first or second meeting in September. Discussion on a 3-day
Sure.
carnival.
Can you make a note of that, please?
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Anything else for future discussions, Mr. Rupo? I don't have anything either at this time, so we will now adjourn to closed session, and we will do a report out afterwards. Everybody, you're welcome to stay. If you like, we can put on some music or whatever you buy, we'll be back.